So I have to start this video with an apology. An apology because last week I lied. I lied in my last reaction when I said that the next time we see each other I will have seen The Rise of Skywalker. I was misinformed. I did not realise that the next episode was being released on Wednesday, which is before the release of Rise of Skywalker, at least for me it is. So I do apologise humbly and ask for your... No, I beg for your forgiveness for the misinformation that I am sitting here having not seen the final film of the Skywalker saga. However, in about 12 hours' time, I will be going to the cinema to watch that very film. And immediately following that midnight showing of said film, I will be uploading what is sure to be a very raw and emotional reaction / review of the film. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts, then stick around, because I mean, I'm really hoping I enjoy it. I certainly don't hold back. Any of you who've seen my Last Jedi review know that I will give a film, in my opinion, it's deserved criticism and it's deserved praise. So I'm hoping this film is very good so that I can give it a very, very nice review. If not, I am going to point out everything that irked me, and people will probably not like it, but tough. That's my opinion. But we will see. I am seriously very excited. You know, this is the last time I'll get to go through this kind of hype and this build-up and that feeling of anticipation, you know, in knowing that in just a few short hours I will know how the Skywalker saga finishes and how, you know, someone like Palpatine comes back and, you know, what happens with Rey and Kylo, and if we're going to see Luke or Anakin, you know, it's all exciting. So what I would say is please, please, please do not post spoilers anywhere in the comments, because even though it may be released for myself and for other Europeans today, it is not being released, I believe, for the US until at least tomorrow, which is the 20th. Well, I say tomorrow, and I consider, because the midnight showings go on at midnight, I still consider that the same day, even though it's not. So it's the 20th, it's released in America, the 19th, I believe, for certain European countries, including my own. So not everyone is going to have seen it. Even if you're going to see it at the midnight opening tonight, don't post any comments, don't put any spoilers about what happens, because it's just not fair game. So please, please, please be considerate of your fellow Star Wars fans. Now, on to The Mandalorian. Yes, I wasn't expecting this episode today. It was only a couple of days. I read a comment on my last Mandalorian reaction where someone said, the next one's out on Wednesday, not on Friday, my dude. And, you know, that kind of like, it made me panic a little, because what I normally tend to do with these reactions is I tend to work a half day in work, come home at lunch, and then watch the episode. And I hadn't had that planned, so I've had to do like an emergency kind of, please let me go home early on Wednesday kind of thing. So, you know, here I am. But yeah, 2 episodes to go. 2 more episodes. So I'm really expecting things to kind of kick up here and kind of tie back into the Imperial story. Because we've yet to see the Moff character. And, you know, there are certain things in the trailers that we haven't seen yet. There's one specifically where I remember the Moff being in a TIE fighter. So I'm assuming that at some point we're either going to go back to Tatooine or to a planet where this Moff is currently... that was my cat headbutting a door. You know, the planet wherever this Moff is based. So the last episode, there was a hell of a lot of cameos. I mean, not just cameos, but there was a hell of a lot of... big names sort of in the cast lineup. You know, you had Bill Burr, who was playing sort of the main arsehole of the group that the Mandalorian was with. You had the girl who plays Osha from Game of Thrones and Tonks from Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. Clancy Brown, who I did not realise under that makeup. Clancy Brown was playing the alien with the horns. We had Matt Lanter. That's another cameo that I didn't pick up in the reaction. He was playing the New Republic officer. Matt Lanter voices Anakin Skywalker in the Clone Wars. You know, and it was just, it was an episode. Richard Ayoade, who was voicing the droid, who people who've seen the IT Crowd will know him. It was just an episode full of kind of like really big names. And I really enjoyed the episode. You know, there was obviously a prison break kind of story going on with it, and the focus on Baby Yoda had been minimized, which, you know, some people will say it's a nice break from, you know, the constant focus on this one character, and it's back to kind of like the Mandalorian having to do whatever he needs to do to survive. But I thought it was a really enjoyable episode. You know, the Mando really showing how he can kick ass, and ultimately, very much like Oliver Queen in Arrow, at least where I'm up to, he's got this kind of no killing unless it's absolutely necessary kind of policy. As we saw, all of those bounty hunters were in a prison cell at the very end of the episode. And I do get the feeling it's building up to kind of like a big kind of all of us versus all of your allies kind of thing. You know, at the end, all of the people he's pissed off come up and face all of the people he's made friends with. It may not be the case, but it feels like they're building to that kind of thing. And I just really enjoyed that episode as a whole, especially the little end scene with the cameos of all of the directors, you know, especially Dave Filoni. Seeing Dave Filoni as an X-Wing pilot was pretty crazy. And just seeing those classic T-65s on screen there's something about them that, you know, I don't think the upgraded X-Wing, I think is it the T-70, has really captured the nostalgic feel. I know there's very minimal differences, but, you know, it's noticeable to someone like me. And I just, yeah, those T-65s, man. The sound effects, the way they look, the way they move. Oh, brilliant. So yeah, we're going to jump into this next episode, see where it takes us with 2 episodes to go. Before we do, I want to say a big thank you to my Patreon super supporters: Frank Tremel, The Lone Detective, Karen Abel, Rakoon Shampoo, Flawed Otaku, and Ace. And yeah, let's jump in.
And his ranks of ex-imperial guards have grown. They have imposed despotic rule over my city, which has...
Oh, that makes sense now.
We consider him an enemy, but we cannot get close enough to take
Ow, he just bit me.
If you would consider one last commission, I will very much make it worth your while.
So they're paying him to come back and clean up the mess he made.
Off their hunters. You kill him, and we both get what we want. If you succeed, you keep the child.
Can he trust him is the question.
With the guild. For a man of honor should not be forced to live in
I mean,
exile.
it's a pretty good deal.
Your arrival with optimism.
You've got to do it for the baby, Mando. Oh, he's going back to recruit an ally. Is she still going to be there is the question. She's still there. And she's having fun.
You can live free of worry.
I'm already free of worry. And I'm not in the mood to play soldier anymore.
Come on.
Especially fighting some local warlord.
He's not a local warlord. He's imperial.
Oh, that is gonna... Yep.
I'm in.
When you have a tattoo of the rebellion on your cheek, that's the way to a woman's heart.
They'll keep sending hunters. The kid will
Look
never
at
be safe
baby.
until the end is dead.
You're okay with bringing him back?
He's like, I'll just leave the adults to their toys.
That's why I'm bringing you.
But yeah, good point. He's in the cockpit. You're leaving the kid alone in the cockpit. Oh my god, I love it. He is such a little troublemaker.
Did you serve?
On the other side, I'm afraid.
He was an Imperial?
I'm proud to say that I paid out my clan's debt, and now I serve no one but myself.
Oh shit, IG-11, he repaired him?
Would anyone care for some tea?
And he...
Lower your mask. You will not harm me.
That thing is programmed to kill the baby.
Not anymore.
he reprogrammed him to serve drinks.
It had to learn everything from scratch.
Oh my god.
This is something that cannot be taught with a twist of a spanner.
I love this story of him. Well, that's oh no.
I spent day after day
He's definitely
development with
more suited to killing than to housework.
information.
Lurks?
I have spoken.
He has spoken. There we go. There's the money shot. No, you can't influence it. That's cheating, Baby Yoda. That's the dark side. That's the dark side. Holy shit! What are you doing?
Stop! We're friends, we're friends. Kara is my friend.
That is not okay.
Very curious.
Curious?
He went all Darth
You almost
Yoda.
killed me.
The story you told me of the Mudhorn.
But the town is now run by ex-Empire. If a rebel dropper is with us, they'll all get their hackles up.
She's coming.
Fine.
I think they'll get their hackles up anyway.
He travels with at most a fire team. Trust
I'm
me,
willing to bet there's going to be more there than that.
nothing can go wrong.
Don't say that. Whoa! See, the moment you say that... No! The blurg! They took a blurg. Oh, and that guy.
I need another med pack. Got any other med packs? Anyone?
No. He's gonna heal him. Baby Yoda's gonna do some healing.
It's still spreading. This isn't working.
He's making the light side choice now.
Get this thing out of here.
No. There you go. See, Vader, that's all you needed. You just needed to go to Yoda and be like, hey, could you do something about these missing limbs and burnt face? Instead, you went to the Emperor and he dressed you up like a gimp. Uh-oh. Oh, they'd been paid to take him out.
There's something you should know. The plan was to kill you and take the kid.
I thought so.
But after what happened last night, I couldn't go through with it.
Let's go.
Also, the tattoo. Well, this is a risky play, but there's not much choice. Scout troopers! Yeah! Oh, those Imperial uniforms look so cool.
It's amazing how beautiful Beskar can be when forged by its ancestral artisans.
Not as beautiful as your voice. I do love that
I offer you a
accent.
libation to celebrate the closing of our shared narrative. I would like to see the baby.
It is asleep.
We all will be quiet.
Okay, now we're gonna have.
Trem,
Now we're gonna have to make a move. Is this the Moff arriving?
don't think me to be rude. I must take this call.
You may want to check again.
Uh-oh. Oh, he's dead. Okay. Holy shit. I don't like how the Moff knew. I think the Moff's captured the baby. Death Troopers. Oh shit. They are only slightly more accurate. Oh no, look at that. Oh, this is a big Imperial operation here. There's a TIE fighter. Oh, that's such a cool shot. Yes. I recognize that from the concept art of The Force Awakens. That is so cool.
It will be mine.
Come on. Come on, Quill.
Quill, do you copy? Quill.
Get in there, get in there. Is IG-11 going to step out and just be like, boom, 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 boom?
Then you will.
Come in, Quill. Quill, come in.
No.
Quill, are you there?
Oh no. He shall never speak again. Can we all take a moment just to remember Queel? For he has spoken his last word. Yeah, I had a bad feeling. I was like, one of two things is going to happen here at the very end. Either IG-11 is going to step out and start, you know, absolutely tearing these scout troopers apart, because he did say that he would defend, or Queel was going to die. And it was unfortunately the latter. But this episode, man, we got a lot of background on some of the characters. I loved the tension that was built right the way through the episode. And I like how they tied everything together. It didn't seem forced. It didn't seem unreasonable. For example, the whole idea of the Mando having to go back to Navarro was very, very believable. Even if the original story had been true, you know, and it didn't turn out that the Guild wants to kill him, you know, the idea that the Imperials would have taken over this town, would have strangled the Guild, and then the Guild come to the Mando and say, look, we all forgive everything. If you come and clean up the mess you made, that's a very believable kind of way to hook the Mandalorian back into the middle of the action there. So I really do appreciate the way they did that. I also liked the idea that, you know, you can, certainly with Kara, you just mention an Imperial, like, as a target, and she's there. You know, it really plays to that kind of anti-Imperial attitude that she's got, even though she's got a completely comfortable life where she was, and, you know, she could have stayed there and probably lived to a ripe old age. The moment you realise there is an Imperial warlord on the loose, she's there. With the rest of the episode, I mean, I kind of had an idea that they were going to try something against the Mando. I was like, this is a little bit too friendly. It's a little bit too kind of, you know, we promise you this is exactly how it's going to go. You got nothing to worry about. You know, the baby will be fine. You just got to go in, kill the client, and then everyone will run away. I was like, that's not going to happen. You know, and in the end, I liked the idea that because of the power that the baby is exhibited, and the first-hand experience that I can't remember his name, the head of the guild had with Baby Yoda, it changed his mind, and he did not want to, you know, to go against the Mandalorian. Baby Yoda. Not only was he able to use his healing abilities, he showed off some of the dark side. He was choking Kara, which was a bit of an overreaction considering the fact they were having a bit of a friendly arm wrestle. He started force choking her, and I was like, holy crap. You know, I think it goes to show, but what they did was it goes to show that I think any creature is capable of using both sides of the Force. Any Force user, I should say, is capable of using both sides of the Force. Everyone associates Yoda and that species as being, you know, the height of the Jedi. Yoda is the Grand Master of the Jedi, and that means he must be the Grand Master of the light side. So the idea that this baby in his image starts to use the dark side shows that there would be it wouldn't be very hard with the wrong upbringing and the wrong kind of influences for him to turn that way. And it just makes you wonder if that's one of the reasons why the Imperials want him, is to influence him to the dark side. And to, I mean, I don't know how much knowledge, you know, the Moff Gideon has of Force users. I'm going to assume that he must know something, because otherwise he would have no interest in the child. But I get the feeling that things will be cleared up once The Rise of Skywalker. I think they very deliberately placed this episode and the next episode in between The Rise of Skywalker. And I have theories that I don't want to go into yet for fear of accidentally spoiling myself or spoiling other people. But I have theories. I have theories about what it all means. But I really enjoyed this episode. I think Deborah Chow did a really good job of directing it, setting the tense kind of atmosphere, and pacing the episode really well. You know, we got to a really good cliffhanger, and you sit there and think, okay, the client's dead. That's fine. Everything's good. And then the Death Troopers show up, and then Moff Gideon shows up in that TIE fighter. That one of the things I do love about Star Wars is that nothing is wasted. No bit of concept art, no idea is put to the side just because it doesn't fit into a certain film or a certain part of the Star Wars universe. They come back and they recycle all of these old things. And the TIE fighter with the foldable wings was a bit of concept art for The Force Awakens, which I think they decided obviously against in favour of the First Order TIE fighters. And I love the fact that they introduced that here, because you look at it and you think, why would a Moff just fly a normal TIE fighter? And so as soon as the wings start to fold, you're like, that's not a normal TIE fighter. But it shows you that the development of the Empire goes on after its fall. And I was sitting there thinking, I wonder if they've got any Star Destroyers left. I wonder how the remnants of the Empire look right now. And, for a Moff to have a force like that, you would imagine they would have to have some kind of a navy, even if it is a very limited navy. But to be able to have, the ability to control a town or a planet like Navarro, you would assume there'd be something there. So I'd like to get a bit more information there, but I'm not, I understand there's limited scope that we're dealing with here. But this episode was just fantastic. I absolutely adored the pacing and the story, and now we get really nervous because the Imperials have Baby Yoda. They have Kara and the Mandalorian surrounded, massively outgunned. And, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, right, we're on Navarro. Are the rest of the Mandalorians still there? Because they said they were going to have to up and move. Is the Guild going to come and help? There's so many... Again, I said before the episode, this is building towards everyone that you've pissed off is going to come back and haunt you, but everyone you've made allies with is going to come and help you. I think that's where we're going in this last episode. I think there's going to be a very tense standoff, and then we're going to get either the Guild or the Mandalorians coming in, helping out, and there's going to be a big kind of tussle between the two sides for control of Baby Yoda. And it is the next episode is the series finale, which is crazy. It feels like such a short series, but I think it's because the first 2 episodes were released within a couple of days of each other, and even then it's only 8 episodes, so it's been like 7 weeks of content for this show, and then that's it for that series. But it's been worth every single bit, and I've loved every episode. Some have obviously been better than others, but there's not been one bad episode. And again, the story structure and the way it's written, you can just tell it's done by someone who is extremely competent. Both Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, and then directed again by competent people. Deborah Chow, Dave Filoni. Everyone who's had their hands on this show has known what they're doing with it. So I'm just so happy it's been such a great success. And now I can only hope that The Rise of Skywalker is an equal success. I will know in just a few short hours. Super excited for that. Super excited. It's a great day to be a Star Wars fan. I hope it's as good as I'm expecting. My expectations aren't as high as they were for The Last Jedi, because I've learned to not trust trailers and the hype as much as I used to. But I'm still excited because I'm still a Star Wars fan. And this is the end. So I'll have my review out a little bit later on today. Stick around, check that out if you do want to see it. It will be a spoiler review, so beware of that. But again, please don't post any spoilers in the comments for this episode, because people won't have seen it by the time this is released. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you for the next episode.